got our friend Eric Hovde in the mix. He's running for a critical Senate seat up in Wisconsin, which is also where the RNC will be this summer. So no doubt we will be drinking some brewskis, eating some cheese curds with him during RNC week, although I'll have to find gluten-free beer. Good to have you, Eric. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Great being on the show, and we're gonna eat some brats as well. You can't have beer and you got to have brats, man. Brats, more brats.
any excuse to eat some form of the seasoned meat family, I'm generally a fan of. Ron DeSantis, here he is. I wanted because you're an economics guy, just so everyone understands, or not like an economics professor, but somebody who has to actually succeed in the markets. You took over community banks. You have a background in the private sector. You've done very well. And so you understand finance and where you have to be right. You have to see what's really happening in the economy around you. Governor DeSantis, obviously super sharp guy. I wanted you to react to what he says about what's been going on with all the spending and how it affects Wisconsinites and everybody across the country. Play 12.
The federal government has borrowed, printed, and spent trillions and trillions of dollars far beyond what they should have done over the last many years. We know that. When they were doing it, there were a lot of people saying, you are going to have inflation. When the Fed was printing so much money, people were saying, you're going to have inflation. And that's exactly what's happened. And so that has been an invisible tax on every American. People are paying more for groceries. They're paying more for goods, paying more for services.
Tell us about this invisible tax that Ron DeSantis is setting up here.
So let me give you hard numbers behind it. So Joe Biden spent basically $4.7 trillion after the economy had already come out of COVID. Remember, we spent about $4 trillion during the heart of COVID. So he spent 4.7. Well, when you spend that amount of money, the Federal Reserve, which is the bank for the federal government, had to monetize that debt. And in that process, they increased the money supply by an enormous amount. Well, what is inflation? Inflation is too much money chasing a fixed amount of goods and services. So it's the reckless spending that has created this wave of inflation that has driven up the cost of people's food, their gasoline, everything that they touch in life. And it was never transitory. That was just a total misnomer by Jerome Powell, who runs the Fed. So they've been engaging in voodoo economics, and it has cost the American public dearly. But there's a video out. I don't know if you guys have shown it or have played it for your listeners, where it's Jared Bernstein, who's been Biden's chief economic advisor since his vice president's day. And this guy never was trained in economics. And they're literally asking him about MMT, modern monetary theory. And he can't even explain the most basic things. And you watch this and go, yeah, you wonder why we have all these negative consequences, because we have completely incompetent people leading our government and our government finances. And that's the sad thing about it. So you talk about an insidious tax. Inflation is just a backdoor tax that whittles away the standard of living for every American.
How much different and better off do you think the United States would be if everyone representing the United States was like you and had to run a successful business at some point in time? Because what Buck and I talk about sometimes is Joe Biden's been in government for 47 or 48 years. You got AOCs running around. I don't think they understand basic economics. And if you don't understand basic economics, you end up making choices, it feels like, that many of our politicians make.
100%. And look, we have a lot of that on the Republican side, too. And that's why we're in this position where we have $34 trillion in debt, where the interest cost on our debt now is bigger than any expenditure in the federal government other than Social Security. It's bigger. Just the cost of servicing our debt is bigger than our Defense Department. And by the way, in a year, it will be bigger than Social Security, and it's putting Social Security at risk. So, you know, the problem is you have these career politicians, Senator Baldwin, who I'm running against, who's one of the most liberal. Her whole life has been politics, 38 years, and's been in Washington, D.C. for coming on 26 years. She knows nothing about how the real economy works, how business works. Think of it this way. She's never had to buy herself health insurance. She's always had health insurance offered by, whatever government position. I've not only had to buy health insurance, I've had to buy it for thousands of people. How to manage it. I've seen the disaster that Obamacare has created. So unless you've had to deal with these issues and understand these issues and understand economics, then you got people sitting in Washington, which sadly we've had for far too long, that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they don't understand the consequences of the decisions they're making.
Speaking to Eric Hovde, he's running up in Wisconsin for a critical Senate seat. He's running against career politician Tammy Baldwin. And on the issue of the spending and what it's doing to the economy, price is certainly going up. But I saw the statistic, and I found it really concerning, Eric, and especially given that they're going to try to pull whatever levers they can in the Biden White House to make things look better than they are, right? They're going to put lipstick on the pig, so to speak, between now and Election Day. Even with that going on, 43% of small businesses couldn't pay their rent in full because of the economy right now. That was just from Bloomberg. What's going on with that?
Look, the economic data that's being put out, I'm starting to really question. I'll give you just one example, employment data. We've never had a time series like this where what they report for job growth in a given month, because they do it the first Friday of every month, and then they'll always put in their revision for the prior month. We've had, 16 out of 17 times they say, oh, we created this amount of jobs, and then the next month they always lower how much jobs they created the last time. Nor do they tell you that most of all the jobs that have been created are second-time jobs, not full first-time jobs. So if you look at, underneath the belly, if you look at what's happening with credit card debt or auto debt and the default rates that are rising significantly, particularly to those that are, in the lower, bottom quarter of, economic earnings, they're being crushed by inflation. And, it's so sad. I was with a younger person, and this young gal came up to me and said, I'm working 2 jobs. I work all the time, and I'm still having to live with my parents. And I just thought, how sad. I mean, clearly she wants to, be standing on her own 2 feet, but she can't get ahead, and she's working hard. It's not somebody just couch surfing. What they're doing, they've really damaged the American economy and so many Americans, and on multiple different levels. And again, look at healthcare. Look at the cost of healthcare and the access to healthcare. I really want more Republicans to start talking about this issue, because the consequences of what Obamacare, what they passed, are all coming home to roost now with access to care and the cost of care. So they've created a total mess, and it's time we get real people that understand how the economy works and how, society works in there, taking over, because that's what our founding fathers wanted. They wanted citizen legislators, people that brought expertise, went and served for a term or 2, and then got the heck out of there. Instead, we've created this career politician political class that's been running Washington, D.C.
All right, I got a gift for you. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Serious question. I think I asked you about this last time. I'm coming up now to Madison, Wisconsin on September 14th. Alabama Crimson Tide is going to be on the road playing against your beloved Wisconsin Badgers. Should we do, I know you want to watch the game, should we do some form of fun Friday evening in a Wisconsin area event for all of the Alabama and Wisconsin fans that are going to be in town? To me, this feels like a no-brainer. It would be an awesome time.
I think it would be a blast. I'm so excited about this. It's always fun when you get big rivals from different conferences that haven't been rivals in the past, but big, well-named programs. So we're really excited to have Alabama come up, and we look forward to putting on a great show here in Madison, Wisconsin. It's a great stadium, Camp Randall, to watch a game. So we're super excited.
I will be there. I think I'm going to be in town. We should talk about a fun Friday event leading into that game on Saturday. Can't wait to check it out. And I would imagine there are a lot of Wisconsin Badger as well as Alabama Crimson Tide fans listening to us right now who would like to be a part of that. And, oh, by the way, you're also in the most important state, maybe, in the entire country, not only for your Senate race, but for who's going to be the next president of the United States.
100%. I mean, Wisconsin's the battleground state. I mean, it's one of five, and if I can win this Senate race, this can pretty much not only assure, the next 2 years, but potentially the next 4 and 6 years. And we move it from a hardcore progressive lefty to somebody with common sense and, who's a conservative. So, it's going to be fun. Look forward to it, and drinking beer and eating brats and cheese curds and watching some great football and all the rest.
Awesome. Cannot wait. It's going to be fantastic. We'll see you then. And certainly we'll have you on between now and then for everything else associated with the race as well. That is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a heck of a game. All right, let's dive into one of our new sponsors out here that we are – honestly, I was really excited to check this out. And if you haven't seen it yourself already, you really need to go check it out yourself, GovX. GovX has got an incredible offer for everyone out there. Phenomenal deals. Buck, it stood out to me how incredible these offers actually are. Whatever you are interested in shopping for, if you go check govx.com out right now and use your ability to check out this website, get registered. I got registered and I was blown away by how incredible the offers actually are. Use my name, Clay. You can get hooked up in a massive way. All you have to do, govx.com is the website. You are going to be glad that you did. You're going to be absolutely blown away by how fantastic that it is. And let me give you a couple of examples of things that you can get hooked up with. Everybody out there, by the way, who has served your country and your community is eligible. That's law enforcement, firefighters, emergency medical professionals, educators, other government service personnel. GovX, like the letter X, fast and free to sign up. You can get 40% off on apparel, boots, shoes, watches, optics, camping, hunting gear. And a lot of the brands that you're going to see on there, you're going to absolutely love. How about Yeti, Oakley, Vortex Optics, Under Armour, many more. Exclusive access to tickets, live sports events, concerts, theme parks, other attractions. One-stop shop for everything you need. And they give back a substantial portion of their profits to so many different nonprofits out there that serve military and first responders. When you shop on govx.com, your orders make a real impact. Check it out today, govx.com. Use my name, Clay, in the shopping cart, and you get an extra $15 off your first order. That's govx.com. My name, Clay, $15 off your first order. GovX, savings for those who serve.